Hi there, it's Brad Flynn again. Today we're going to look at the third and final of the financial statements for your business. We've covered the profit and loss, we've covered the balance sheet, and now we're going to look at something called your statement of cash flow. I'm going to show you in a later video how these all tie together, but today it's always going to be about your statement of cash flow. One of the most common things I hear from business owners who don't understand their financial statements is they'll be looking at their profit and loss and they might say they've made a whole bunch of profit, but they've got no money in the bank. The statement of cash flow is going to help you to see where the money has gone, and as well as reading that in alignment with your balance sheet, you'll get a greater understanding about how your cash is flowing within your business. So let's take a look. It's divided into three different areas, the statement of cash flow. Number one is your income, where the money comes in, where the cash flows in. Number two is the expenses that are associated with operating your business. Number three, expenses that are associated with the non-operation of your business. And then finally, it pulls it all together with a bit of a summary. So let's go through the example. Let's say we have a business that in a year takes in cash, hard cash, of $500,000. So that's our income. Now over the course of the year, and actually your statement of cash flow can be looked at any point in time. So you can pick it for different periods to see how your flow of cash happened in that particular period. So let's say in this particular business, and this is where it looks a little bit like a profit and loss, we might have advertising, wages, inventory, which normally isn't on your profit and loss, but it's still something where cash flows. And all the other things that are associated with actually running your business on a day-to-day basis. So in this example here, let's say that we had operating expenses that cash flowed outwards of $350,000. So we had income, and then we had cash flow out from operating expenses of $350,000. Now our non-operating expenses refer to things like purchasing new equipment or getting loans or anything like that that's not directly associated with your business. Taxes are sometimes lumped in here, particularly GST if you're in Australia. So let's say in this example here, the non-operating expenses, we had loan expenses of 20 grand and we had bought equipment of 27 grand, and that totals up to 47. So if we look at the snapshot for the cash flow for this particular period, and as I said, could be a year, could be a week, could be a month, we started out in the summary. So we started out, let's say we had an opening balance of 50,000, which we would get from our balance sheet that shows where our cash is. So let's say we had 50,000, and our movements, now this is the most important part, our movements is the result of subtracting our operating and non-operating expenses from our income. Remember, this is actual cash flow. And in this instance here, we have a 500,000 minus 350,000 for operating and minus 47,000 for non-operating, gives us a positive $103 of surplus. Now that number could be negative. If we had use more money in our operating and non-operating expenses than we brought in, then that difference would come from what we had in our opening balance at the start of the period. So in this instance here we had 50 grand. So we could have gone over by 50 grand here, but then we would have run out of cash altogether. But here we've actually gone and had a positive. So we had a net increase of cash of $103 above where we were at 50 grand, to give us a closing balance of our cash of $153,000. So hopefully that explains to you a bit more about how cash flow works. Cash flow is real time. Profit and loss is about promises, and your balance sheet is about where we are right now with the business. So in the next video I'm going to teach you how to hang all of these together and read all your financial statements in conjunction with each other. My details are after the video, so feel free to get in touch with me if you're looking for any assistance.